My name is Keith Andrew, and welcome to episode 809. Today, we have professional actor Bradley Smith. That's right, Bradley Smith, right here on the Keith Andrew Network. We also have professional upcoming comedian Danielle Deluca. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Keith Andrew Network. The following is brought to you by HB Gibson, home of the XL. Live on the USA Network at 8 p.m. as WWE NXT. Also, home of Life of a Fighter. If you like eating healthy, drinking healthy, and being in shape, I know it's the quarantine, we can all be in shape. Definitely check out Life of a Fighter. With that being said, I'm going to start off with my catchphrase, and we're going to start off with an interesting question. Now, make sure to like and subscribe to the Keith Andrew Network, and as I always say, thank you for your support, and I will catch you later. So first off, I'm going to start off with my catchphrase. The whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities, to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. So prove to them it's now about something. So hashtag break the label. So that being said, first question I want to ask you is, because you are an upcoming professional actor, what attracted you to become, let me do it again. What attracted you to begin your career as an actor?
Well, funny enough, I guess I didn't even start acting really because I wanted to do it. Like I didn't start watching movies and say I want to do that. I actually started wanting to act because in middle school, I saw my brother and my sister doing theater. I saw them in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I said, that looks fun. I like seeing them do theater. And so whenever I got to middle school, I said, I want to take that elective. So I got into it just by doing theater in school. I did it throughout middle school and high school, and I never stopped taking the class, and I never stopped liking it. And after I left high school, I got into film acting and said I want to start tackling this professionally. So I started doing film acting, and I started getting into voiceover and just trying to do any kind of performing and entertaining that came my way.
No, I absolutely agree. You have to be 100% serious about what you're doing. You know, if you're not serious or passionate about the type of work that you want the public to see, you're pretty much just wasting your time and you're wasting everyone else's time.
Of course. Yeah. It's like whenever anyone looks back at like your name, you want to kind of be proud of everything you've put out and be able to say, yeah, that was something there's fun. And it doesn't mean that everything needs to technically look incredible at every moment. Cause it's, you can always say, well, at that point in my career, I was at this level. Everyone starts off in a different spot and evolves and grows. So it's also not that you shouldn't, because I felt like early in my career, I was holding myself back from creating my own material because I was a bit of a perfectionist. And so I found myself saying, oh, I don't want to make anything because it's not perfect. And that's the point, is like, I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be something that I did put my effort into. And that's enough. People will see that there was love and passion put into that. So, even if I don't have the money or something for amazing lights or something, if I want to do a film or sound equipment, you should still make it, because it's like, if the thought is still there, the project will come out. So.
No, I agree. If you look back to my early work, back in 2013, I'm not really sure when Zoom was created, but I don't ask me why, it seemed like a good idea at the time. I actually recorded, from the phone. So you've seen a big process from, season 1 to now. Yes,
Yeah.
This June, actually do a plug for it, as my guest is getting ready. This June 10th is actually my 8-year anniversary. So you see a process from all 8 years. And I appreciate it. I love to have both of you a part of it. It's going to be June 10th, about 5 o'clock. It's my 8-year anniversary episode. But I'm showing you look at what I have accomplished for all those years. And I'm saying, hey, I may learn at a slower pace. I may be on the spectrum of being retarded. But, hey, 8 years, 800 episodes, and I'm doing something that I'm capable of doing. I think I'm ahead of the curve. But at the same time, at the same token, people would say to me, well, why didn't you do this? And I kind of kick myself about that because maybe I should have done this from the start, but I don't know when Zoom came out, number one. I don't know where Skype Recorder came out about 2015, I guess. So but as you said in the beginning, you have to do what you have available. So even though my interviews seem crappy, and it's a work in progress with everything. And as our guest is now getting ready, she's an upcoming comedian. And as she's ready, I'm going to pass the same question over to her.
I'm ready. My speaker sucks, though. I'm just trying to get to my Bluetooth. So just give me 1 second.
No, not a problem.
All good.
So the first question I want to ask you is, what attracted you to begin your career as a comedian?
Well, I would say all the tragedy, in my life that I just kept laughing at because it just kept happening. And I just said, fuck it. I'm gonna talk about it because I can't afford therapy. So I love how this is like a last minute interview and I look like fucking trash, like hungover. Okay. All right. Okay. But yeah, I've always loved comedy. Like I went to like Rodney Dangerfield with my dad and I went and saw like Big J Okerson and I've seen like Patrice O'Neal at Punchline and shit. Like I just always was lingering around at the comedy shows. And then I'm a pretty funny person, at least I like to think so. And so I just started, I thought I would just be really funny. Like the first open mic I went to, I just thought like, I'm going to blow them away. And it was horrible. So I was just like, oh, I love this rejection. I'm going to come back every time. Like, how can I feel this more?
Oh, absolutely. No, what is the type of comedy that you do? Is it, as my show is PG-13. However, with that being said, it is uncensored, freedom of speech, self-expression. So I want you guys to express yourselves however you want. But the question I wanted to ask you, how that relates to you, is more, do you keep it clean? Do you do like George Carlin and Dennis Leary? Are you more like Robin Williams?
Me?
Yes.
I am more of a storyteller. So I talk about my life. I would compare myself to like Roseanne Barr in 1980. Like she talks about her kids and her life and just how she, doesn't like certain things, and she's pretty shocked. Like I'm not really a shock value because everything I say for the most part is true, but some of the things I say may shock you,
So most of your jokes are more like dark humor.
Well, they just talk about my life and just to PG-13 it. I'm a phone sex operator. I've done that for about 4 years. I also have an OnlyFans page. I'm kind of a whore. And I have kids and they're like, witnessing all this. I'm not like witnessing all of it, but you know what I mean? Like they're around and like, I don't think my kids should love me as much as they do, but they do. So yeah, I talk about all that shit. Like if something weird happens in my day, I'll talk about it. I do a lot of crowd work too though. So if the crowd wants to play, I'm down anytime to play with them. So yeah.
No pun intended. So the next one I want to ask you is going back to our other guests. As tell me about what you're working on right now.
Okay, so I guess right now, my day job is working as a voiceover actor and writer, and among other things, for the Combo Panda YouTube channel, which is a children's entertainment YouTube channel, which is a hilarious left turn to take after all this. But yeah, it's strange. No, because I totally did stand-up comedy for a while. So I get it's not like I ever actually dreamed of fully being in a children's entertainment universe. I find it very interesting that I've fallen into this, but I couldn't be happier. I'm very lucky to be doing what I'm doing, and I enjoy it so much. Basically, I get to play games in my day job and then voice it over in improv that I'm a cartoon panda bear. So it's funny. I get to just be a really wacky and zany and get to revert to being a child to entertain children. And it's very unique, because I guess in this day and age too, with children's entertainment being on YouTube, I feel like there's no real easy way to restrict what a kid is going to see. So at least I like to know that my content is clean for a child, so it's appropriate, and I'm at least entertaining children the way that at least I feel like I grew up being entertained as a child, with just clean, wholesome comedy and stuff that's just meant for a kid. I don't get what's wrong with kids entertainment being for kids.
Well, I agree, but there's like Disney's a perfect example. Having adult humor in there.
Oh, sure, yeah, no, I don't mind that at all. One of my favorite shows is SpongeBob in the early seasons, and that's got a lot of stuff there that, like, I feel like I recently have rewatched the show and go, I didn't get that at all. Oh, that means something way different as an adult. So no, I mean, I like that too, and I don't even mind that. Like, I guess it's just there's a difference between like innuendo and smart writing and really writing something in there subtly, and then just someone explicitly yelling curse words at a video game. And it's like, well, that's great that we're just teaching kids to do that. Our kids are going to be very tolerable around the house.
No, I agree, and it all starts with the parents. You can say, Grand Theft Auto. I remember, like it was yesterday, Grand Theft Auto is damaging my kids. It's like, no, it's kind of what your kids are going through. But I know
who's buying them Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, exactly.
Who?
This 13-year-old can't buy Grand Theft Auto. But there's so many other games, and I'll give you another example, and I will answer your question, but I will give you an example. Like, kids need to be disciplined. If your kids are being a disrespectful little piece of crap, I'm not saying beat them, but they should, that's a slap on the ass or open hand slap. It's fine to. I was hit as a kid when I was disrespectful, but if you don't discipline your kid's gonna walk all over you, and I have seen that personally, and it's kind of like it doesn't work out like that. To answer your other question about keeping entertainment for kids, my network caters to everyone. I don't just cater to people with disabilities. Recently, I added the best of Bardock because I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan. I love nice. Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is one of my favorites. I added the best of Bardock, the best of Bret Hart, the best of the NWO. I interviewed a bunch of professional wrestlers. The Raven, just incredible. My friend who's a midget wrestler. I have comedians on there. I have the Dumbo Challenge. I have the Jumbo Book Challenge, the Human Pyramid Challenge. And of course, my main feature is the talk show. But I have so much different categories on the Keith Andrew Network. So yes, it's an open window, an open invitation for anyone out there who wants to work with me, that if I like your work and I like it, it's awesome to be on my show, and it's awesome to share, because if you don't share each other's content, you can't really get anywhere you want. The one thing I do want to say to you that I saw, and it kind of irritated me, but it didn't irritate me because you had it on your page. It irritated me because I personally don't care for it. And what I mean by that is you have Ryan's Wald. And this kid's like 6 or 7, picks his nose, and he's raking, I'm telling you, raking in the money. And I'm saying why it annoys me. I sit here every day thinking, what am I doing wrong? This kid is doing freaking laps around me. What am I doing something wrong? Am I not connected to the right people? So every time go ahead.
It's that again. It's the luck of the draw. It's kids. It's I mean a different audience there. To be fair, I mean it's a lot of kids that are watching Ryan, and even then it's like I mean they all admit that they just kind of got lucky with it. It was no thing of their own. They don't know necessarily what they did. Ryan, I guess, just appealed to a mass majority of his peers that they want to tune in and see what's going on the show. So they just kind of are able to, turn it into more and more stuff.
I agree. So the next question I want to ask you is, what has been your greatest accomplishment as being an actor? And that's the same question, passing it over to my other guests. But instead of actor, it's comedian. But we're going to start off with you.
Me?
Oh, on Broadway.
Okay.
Okay. My greatest accomplishment as an actor, I guess it would be, I guess that's pretty easy. I've recently, just 2 days ago, proposed to my girlfriend. So she's now my fiance. She said yes. So I guess it would be the fact that I'm able to support myself and support a future family and a nice life and keep a roof over our heads, doing what I love. I'd say that's probably my biggest accomplishment, is that I've been able to pursue doing what I'm doing and have a living doing it. So I'm very proud to say that.
That's awesome.
You have to have the passion. That's the biggest thing. Hashtag keep the passion. But what about you?
For sure.
I would say the amount of traveling I did during 2020 for comedy. I went to Boston. I went to Buffalo, New York. I went to Cleveland. A lot of people were, upset and like angry at COVID and like, oh, it killed comedy. But, when I took it to Zoom, I kind of just used it as like a network playground, made connections with people. And it really got me further along, because I've really been able to grow. And especially with Zoom, you could do like 3 or 4, either workshops or shows, whatever you want to call them. I didn't really think that was comedy, because comedy's in person, like it's an experience, but I used it as like a workshop or a playground. And, I've been able to travel a lot. I'm still not making any money, but, at least not enough to propose to my girlfriend or whatever. But I love going and traveling. I just went to Boston. It was super fun. I just got back from Boise 2 days ago. We had 4 sold out shows. It was awesome. So just traveling.
Absolutely.
Congrats on that. That is the hustle that you have to pursue stand-up comedy and be getting shows like that. Like, seriously, that's impressive.
I do comedy every night, whether it's in Sacramento or like last night we drove to Modesto, which is 2 hours away. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time in the car, and it's a lot of rejection and not getting paid. But if you stick with it, it's the only thing I've really ever been like super passionate about. So.
Yeah, I hope to see you on Netflix one day.
I don't know about Netflix. You might.
Okay, fair enough. No, fair enough. Just some. I hope to see you with a special one day. Fair enough. See me
in some sleazy bar, I'm sure, in your town. That would be good enough. That'd be good enough.
So then the other question I want to ask both of you, and this is now going to be an open forum, is social media. Can social media make you or break you? With everything that you guys accomplished in your careers, do you give thanks to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? Do you think it's because of these platforms you are where you are today and given or gotten the what's the correct term? Do you have gain the opportunities to do what you want to do? And Bradley, I guess I'll start with you.
Oh, okay. So I guess I could say no. I mean, I guess I'm really awful at using social media, so my platforms are pretty bare, and I don't got a lot of followers or anything, so I don't particularly use it too much. But I guess I was pivoting at first because I guess I only say that because with Facebook and stuff, I'm an old turd, so I still use Facebook, I guess. But through Facebook, I guess I've made a lot of acting connections in the film community, voiceover connections, and I end up seeing a lot of auditions through there. So I mean, I've gotten a good amount of stuff through Facebook in that way, but I guess I wouldn't say like, the marketing and that sort of thing has been what's done it for me. Although definitely YouTube has helped, since I can't, that's where Combo Panda is all on YouTube. So I mean, if that counts as social media in a way, then sure, but not so much with the other ones for me, at least. But with other actors, it's definitely something you need. So I wouldn't say it's not necessary for some, though.
And now, in the part two of that question is, how can our fans follow you on social media?
Oh, okay. On most social media, I'm at actorbws for, my name, Bradley William Smith. So it's at actorbws, or just search Bradley William Smith on Facebook. But that's how I am on Twitter and Instagram.
What about you?
Let's say, I don't really, I don't know. I'm really bad at social media because I don't want the world like to know what I'm doing every fucking minute of the day. Like, oh, I put on my shoes today. Like, but I do advertise for shows and I do give out my Instagram, like a lot. And all my stickers have my Instagram. So I will sometimes mail them to my comic friends in other states and just have them like go to face property in their fucking city, freaking city. But I mean, social media obviously is very important and it's a great way to reach out to people, but I wouldn't say that it's my main platform. I would say that it's, going around making connections, I guess, people, the word of mouth,
That's how he used to do it. He used to go out in person, 15 years ago, even say it's, if you go back about, 20 years ago, you got your portfolio, you get your headshot, you get your resume, and you went over to people. Now you press a button and there you go. You're off to the races. Yep. It's amazing how far we came in 20 years.
To me personally, like, it's just the people that use social media so much don't know how to talk to people. Like they speak at them, they don't talk to them. So to me, that's one of my biggest, I would say, like strengths is like knowing how to talk to people. And I would never let social media just take that away. So I don't rely on it that much because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, people will always be here because if they're not, then I guess I'm not going to be here either. But social media may not,
I agree. Now, I do have a couple questions for you guys off the air. But wrapping up, I want you guys to be brutally honest. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, and when you got the message, what made you say yes? How do you feel now? And would you recommend it to other people? And I guess we go ladies first.
Oh shit! I guess that's me. He doesn't know me that well. I would say being a lady, a lot of guys reach out to me for weird stuff. But I read it and I was like, oh, does he think I have a learning disability? And I was like, well, fuck, I don't, but I'll go on there. I'm dumb. I make bad choices all the time. Maybe that's just the new learning disability, but I love talking about myself. Why would I not come on here? I think your last minute, hey, you available right now is sometimes a good approach for some spontaneous people sitting in their pajamas, about to eat lunch. But I liked it. I mean, I always love talking about myself and meeting new people.
No, absolutely. Brad, before you answer that, I do want to say it's funny how people automatically, I don't know why it's echoing, I do apologize. I like how everyone gets this freaking imagination that I think, both for the most part, I do think everyone has a disability, mentally or physically.
This hasn't been diagnosed,
But, especially when you talk to Gothic people, this comes up a lot. Because I try to have Gothic girls on the show. Like, hey, I would love to have you on the show. And as soon as I say disability, they're like, how the hell do you know I have a learning disability? Okay, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about myself. But it's amazing how maybe I should change the format.
I would completely just take it. Like, you don't need to, I mean, I don't know. For someone who doesn't know you, if you're just reaching out to strangers, I would just take that out. I'd be like, hey, I do this show. You want to come on, promote yourself, talk about yourself? Why don't you come on? And then if they have more questions, then you can, give them that. But like, yeah. So, cause sometimes you just read, like you just skim, it's like a kind of like a big paragraph. And all I read was like, I do a show, learning disabilities. Do you want to be on it? And I was like, sure, I guess. Yeah.
What about you, Bradley?
Yeah, whenever you first sent me the message, I guess it wasn't even you asking me first to be on the show. It was just kind of a reach out. And so you're just kind of sharing the show with me. So I thought yours, I get a lot of people on Facebook who just add me on and will kind of be like, hey, hope you don't mind, I'm in a band, check out my band. And they throw me their page and, I'll just be like, all right, cool, let's check this out. It's kind of like, I respect kind of the online marketing. It's like, whatever, you're a real person, as long as it doesn't feel like a copy, as long as you feel like a genuine message is kind of put out there, then I enjoy responding. And you sent me that and I checked out your show and I was like, oh man, that's cool. Okay, I'll remember this guy. And then you had sent me a message reaching out again saying, hey, do you want to be on the show? And I was like, oh yeah, I remember Keith Andrew. So yeah, I'll be on a show. That sounds good. So I liked it because I just felt like it was an interesting take on a show and interesting, just an interesting spin on it. But I got it and I enjoyed it. So I was excited to be on it. I appreciate you inviting me.
No, absolutely. Now, I do have a couple questions for you guys off the air. But wrapping up, our fans, make sure to like and follow the Keith Andrew Network and our guests on Instagram. Their Instagrams will be on the bottom of the screen. Also, I want to give a shout out to, if you're a wrestling fan, tonight on the USA Network, it's WWE NXT, the fallout from WrestleMania. Also, the following is brought to you by HB Gibson, home of the X-Zone, and Life of a Fighter. But definitely hit like and subscribe to the Keith Andrew Network. As I always say to our guests, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest, and I'll catch you later.